Hello everyone, welcome to free machine learning classes. I'm Priyanka Pradhan and today's topic is Matplotlib. So let's start with the topic. What is actually Matplotlib? It's a library that is used for visualization of 2D plots in array, right? Means in Python, if you want to visualize our 2D arrays, we can use a Matplotlib library because it is a multi-platform data visualization library that is built on NumPy array, right? So it was introduced by John Hunter in the year 2002. One of the greatest benefit of visualizations is that it allows us as you visual access to huge amount of data in easily digestible visuals. Basically, we can just plot a number of graphs using one single library, that is Matplotlib, and a number of graphs is includes line, bar, scatter, histogram, etc. You can plot any type of a graph using one single library, that is a Matplotlib, right? And to use this library, what you need to import, that is matplotlib.pyplot, is a plotting library that is required to import to make up programs of Matplot, right? So we will be using this in Python script, shell, web application servers, and other GUIs toolkits. So this is a simple library to plot to deal with the graphs in the Python. These are the types of the plots that you can use using simple Matplotlib library. First is a bar graph that must be known by you all. This is a very simple and known graph. Here you just verify that whether the variables are up to the mark or not. It means it gives a value to the x-axis or a y-axis. Longer the bar, it will show that the value is. So longer the graph, greater is the value. Next one is a histogram. Histogram tells the intensity value, intensity that how that particular value is being intensified, right? As you can see over here, it is being shown the histogram graph, and this is a bar graph. Next is a scatter plot graph. In this, each variable will be shown how much it is being scattered in that particular area, right? Next is area plot. Area plot is basically used to show the area of a variable, right? And next one is a pie plot. Pie plot tells the particular percentage of a variable, right? Next one is bar graph. Now bar graph, it is very much used, like it shows things in the horizontally or in vertical. Now you can see as in this is a bar graph that compares the data among different categories. Like for example, we have taken two variables, that is BMW and Audi, right? And the BMW shows a blue lines and the Audi shows a red line, right? So it shows that on the x-axis you have a days and in the y-axis you have a distance. So this tells different things, different variables on a single graph. It gives you the information, right? So it just compare the data among the different categories, and it is well suited when you want to measure the changes over the period of a time. It can be represented as a horizontally or as well as vertically. And it's important that you should know the matplotlib also implements the bar graph. Now comes with a histogram. Histograms also tells you the information, like in x-axis we can see we have an age group and in the number of people at particular intensity using a bins, right? So histograms that is used to show the distribution, and bar graph is used to compare the values. This is a difference bit the bar graph is bit different with the histogram. So histogram is used to show the distribution, and bar graph is used to compare the different values, right? So let's see, the histogram is used to show the distribution among the variables, and bar chart is used to compare the different entities. Histogram are useful when you have arrays or a big long list, right? So this is an example of a histogram, and in this the bins are used. What are bins? Bins are refers to the range of values that are divided into series of interval, right? So it is created of the same size, and suppose in this graph from interval 10, which means that first bin is being created from 0 to 9, and next one is so on, right? So it tells the distribution of particular values, that how much interval it covers from 0 to 10 or as per your requirement, right? Next come with the scatter plot. Now what is a scatter plots? As you can see in this example, it has been given that scatter plot is used to tell that how much one variable is affected by another variable to build a relation out of it. Now the data is displayed as a collection of points, each having the values of one variable which determines the position on the horizontal axis, and the value of other variables that defines the positions on the vertical axis, right? It tells you that how the one variables affects the another variable, right? As in this you can see that some red spot has been shows that high incomes low saving, and the blue spot shows you that a low income high saving, right, in the single graph. Now, this one is a pie chart. In this pie chart, we have a simple, this is a circular graph in which is being broken into number of segments, as you can see over here, that this segments is known as a slices of pie, and it is basically used to show the percentage or proportional data where each slice of pie represents a category. So, right, so it's a category of sleeping or some playing, how much a person is playing and working and eating, how much percentage is done by each of the persons. So this can be done using a single variable in one graph. Is that clear? Now the coding section will be covered using Jupyter notebook, right? So let's start, and all the queries will be handled after the session, taking 10 minutes break, and with the same ID that is being given to you by a Google Classroom. Right, now we will start with this. This is a simple thing that I have covered in my previous videos, also in NumPy, in Matplot also. There we just created a Python file over from here, new, and going to the folder and Python file, right? So this is a basic things that I have already told you in the previous videos. So let's just start with the simple thing. I have told you in my slides that to use a Matplotlib, you just need a Matplotlib.pyplot library to import, right? Import is a keyword, and this is the name of the library that you need to import to use a Matplot, right? And this is again a keyword as, and PLT is used for as a alias of this library, right? So the very first step that you need is simple use some variables. Okay, Vinny, the voice is breaking, not clear, not audible. Okay, might be network problems from voice is going fast. Okay, I'll be slow. So x equals to what? We will consider some x value. Let it be x equals to anything that as per your requirement. This is a value of x, right? Now I will press Shift Enter. First of all, I will press Shift Enter to import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. Then I take another value that is x. X contains certain values. Now again I press Shift Enter. Right. Now next take a y value. Right. You have two variables. First is x and second is y. Right. I execute Shift Enter. Now, this is a syntax actually used to plot the graph. Simply what you will use plt.plot X and Y. X and Y are the parameters that need to pass in this function plot, right? So you just do that plt dot plot is a predefined function, and here you give the parameters, that is X and Y, and then to show this, to show the graph, you need plt dot show this, right? Now press shift enter. Now here you can see you have simple X and Y values being plotted, and this is a graph that is a simple graph showing it, right? Now, suppose I want, here you can see that there is no such name on the axis. We don't know what is x-axis. We don't know what is y-axis, right? I want to give the name. What I can use a predefined function again, x label and y label to give the values x-axis and y-axis, right? So just you need to write plt dot x label, and then you need to give that at x-axis what you want. Here I just give simple x-axis, right? Now execute it. X label, okay, it's been a little bit, okay, X label, and then shift enter. We can see when we see over here, it has been written, it has been shown that at x-axis, the label has appeared and it is x-axis, right? Similarly, if you want to give at y-axis, just give a y and then label, and then give the name actually you want to be displayed over a x-axis, y-axis, right? And press shift enter. Now, when you shift enter press, this is a label at a y-axis. This is being shown, right? So this is very simple things that you can do using a matplot. Just you need to follow one syntax, one function, that is plot, and this is a show function, right? So this is, we are talking all about a simple graph, simple how to plot a graph, right? Now going to the next thing. Now see, this is drawing how to draw the two lines, right? How to draw. So for the very first statement that you need, that is Matplotlib. To import a Matplotlib, you need this statement, write it and press shift enter. It has been executed. Matplot has been executed and it's been imported. Now, suppose I want one line. So I just give the data x1 equals to this data and y1 equals to this data. Now I press shift enter. It is being executed, right? Now I want to give my first line, that is xy, as what? Simple line 1, right? I'm just doing the labeling. So this is also the way where you can give. This label is an attribute that is used to give the label to your particular x and y line, right? So write the plot function. Earlier, you were doing just two variables. You were passing only two variables. Now you are giving a next attribute in the same one. What it is, that is label attribute, and this will label, this will show that line first is indicated by line 1, right? Similarly, now let's take a, this is how it is being executed and it's indicating it's line 1, right? Now the next thing is we have another data x2 and xy2. Execute it, pressing shift enter, right? Now again give simple plot line 2 as line 2, right? So this is being executed and it is being assigned by line 2. Now I want to label it, right? So for labeling it, I want to label the things on the x-axis. I do the same thing. This is being labeled. And on the y also, I want to name it as a y. So I just do this and press shift enter, right? So it is being labeled as x and y. Now I want to give the title to my graph because there is no such any title being given. I don't know which graph it is. So for that also, we also have a predefined function that is title, and simply give plt.title and the name of the title that actually you want. Now here you can see in this graph, we were not having any title written over here. But in this graph, This is my chart is already written over here. So this is used to give the title, this function title, right? Now, what are the legends? Legends are simply a rectangular box that give you the information that what type of the line it is. With the help of the different colors, it will show you that line 1 indicates like in the PPTs we have seen that one line is being red and one was blue in color. So it will tell you that the red line is for stands for BMW and line blue stands for Audi. So it distinguishes the two variables using a rectangular. We will see, just have a summary of all the codes what we have done, right? It will be understandable by you that how to do the things in one single codes, right? So x is equals to what we have considered. Let us say this one. Then y equals to what? Another value, right? Then we have x1 also. X1, what was it? X1 was simply, let us suppose 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? And x2 and y2 equals to y1 equals to what? Another value that is equals to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. So this is the things that we have considered. Now I want to plot ELT dot plot what? X and Y. I take X and then Y and then I give a label equals to what? Simple line 1. Right. And then again, I just want to plot the another line into one code that is PLT. It's plot. P plot and here also plot. Right. Now the next line was what? X1, X1, comma Y1. Right. And also I want to give a label to this line that is label equals to that is line 2. Line 2. Right. So this has been given. And again, I want to give a simple legend. So first of all, I have just give the label to this. So PLT dot X label, at X label, what I want to display that X, right? X axis, it is showing the X axis. And similarly for a Y, PLT dot Y label, I want a Y axis, right? So it's inside a single quote, right? And here also it is a single quote. Yeah. So this is a simple labeling. And now we will use a legend, PLT dot legend. Now you can see that what can happen for using the legend. And at last, we will use PLT dot show function. This will show you the graph. Now I press shift enter. Now see, this is what actually the legend is. You can see on the left corner what it is. It is a rectangular box and it is telling you that there are two lines. One line is missing due to certain values, I must be saying. You can change the value and you can see, right? You must be having two lines. One is orange and another is blue, right? This orange indicates that it is X and X, X and Y. And this blue indicates the X1 or Y1. Right. So this is labeling being done, x-axis and y-axis, and you can also give the title to this graph. So this is how you can simple do the plotting of the graph using simple function plot, show, x label, title, legend. Right. This I'm showing you every value in one single graph. Clear? So this much is clear. So going to the next thing, that is a scatter plot. Now scatter, I have told you, I have described you that what is a scatter? Scatter is a type of a plot that shows the data as a collection of points, that how one variable is related to another variable. It gives you the position of a point that depends on its two-dimensional value, where each value is a position on either the horizontal or vertical dimension, right? The syntax of scatter is what? Simple PLT dot scatter, and then inside this function you will pass the parameters, and parameters are these: x, y label. This was the common to all the previous what we have covered. X, y label will tell you that what type of it is, that whether it is a star or anything. Like here we can see the name of the marker. And color will tell you the actually what color of scatter you want, green, red, blue, whatever, right? And marker will tell you that what actually mark you want to, right? Here you can see that anything you can choose from this to mark your graph. And S will tell you the size of this marker, whether it should be small, whether it should be little big, and depending on your graph. Right. So this is a simple basic thing that you should know before starting the scatter plot. Right. So let's start with the same thing, that is import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Right. Now I execute this. I take simple the value of x equals to what? Simply let us take the things like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever you like, or just take the same value 2, 9, 4, and 7. Right. So this is the value of x being taken. Right. And if you want to see the value, what's inside the x, you can see like this. This is an array of simply the value that you have typed above. Right. Simple. Now take a value of y. This is 10, 5, 8, 4, 2. Right. Execute it, pressing shift enter. You can also run this statements using run over here. There are two ways to run. Right. Now let's see what will happen using the scattered function. Now you can see this is how the graph is showing the different values between x and y. It's been telling that how one variable is being dependent on another variable, right? Now I want to show it will do the same thing as I have done it earlier, right? So it's not a new thing for you. It will simply used after this one. Now this is example 2, just to show you. Simply I have taken the value of x. First of all, I have imported the matplotlib.pyplot.as plt. Now value of x is being taken, value of y axis is taken. Now you have used a predefined function that is a scatter and use a value that is x and y. You have given the label as star, right? Color you have taken as red, and marker you have chosen as a star, and f, that is the size of marker, you have chosen as 30, right? Now I have given the labeling also to x-axis, label y-axis, and title my scatter plot. Legend is given, it will automatically be taken as star, and this is a show function to show the plot. Now you can see this is the actual graph of scattered for second exam, right? So it's quite easy for you, I think you all, right? So this is a scatter. Now going to the next graph, that is bar plot. This is also very easy. You must have used it many times in your mathematics also. So nothing new in this. This is a bar chart. This simply tells, it presents a category of the data with a rectangular bars, and that can be vertically or horizontally be represented. And it is also sometimes known as a line graph, right? Because it's showing the line in the form of a bar. And the function of bar chart is simply plt dot bar, as you were using for the scatter, for simple line, that is plot, and now for bar, that is bar, right? So the next one is what we have simply taken. These are the x giving the 1D array, y again 1D array, and simply using the width, color, tick label, etc. So let's start with this without wasting the time. Shift enter now. And this is, I have given you simple example how to use a numpy in the plotting a graph. You don't want to give a long value range, and you want to also draw a plot a graph thousand number. So how you can give using a len space for that is used for linear space. It will just give you the value from 0 to 10, right? And similarly, and why it will be finding the exp is for exponential. Exponential, that means e raised to the power minus x is the value to the 1, right? So let's execute it. It's been executed, and the x and y value is given. Now just plot a bar graph, plt dot bar function, and give the value x and y. Now let's see. This is a simple less values being this like 1,000 values we have used for x, and y is a function of x, that is e raised to power minus x. So this type of the graph can be shown using x and y variables. And as per you have seen in the previously, you can give the x-axis labeling, y-axis labeling, the title of the graph, and the legend. Right. So that are same for everything. That's nothing new. Right. So coming to the next bar graph, that is a pie chart, right? This is also a very known chart, and pie chart is used to give the percentage of any variable in your graph. It tells you that what slice, what pie it consists of what percentage, right? And its syntax is very simple as in the previous what you were using, plt.scatter for scatter, plt for a bar for bar graph, and similar pie that's for pie chart, right? Nothing new in this. These are the parameters that you can use for pie chart, that is slices. Slices is used for the collection of a numeric data, right? It is a list type, and labels, it's also a collection of a string data, right? It's a name to each segment you give. This is also a list type. Radius is a circular size. You must be knowing it. What is radius? And the auto PCT is a value of each label in floating number or in percentage. So let's see, shift enter. Now let's have any variable from the previous one. Let's take an x value from the previous data. Right over here it is value of x. X value is this one. Now just pass the plt dot pi and pass the value of x. Now see, this is how you can simply plot a variable x into these slices, into this pi value, right? And here the percentage of each is being displayed, like what the percentage is what, and you can give as per your requirement these parameters also. So these parameters will help you to get the slice, the labels, radius, and auto PCT, right? You can pass in this argument itself. So this was all about the pie plot, right? Now we will see the next one. Now see, this is the example for you all, just to show that how the data set can be plotted in the graph. You must be knowing it. How can you use the graphs in your analyzing your data, right? So I have already coded for you. So let's start running it. This is shift enter. I press shift enter to import this library. NumPy I want because I'm using this NP function linear space. Otherwise, you won't be needed it if you are not using this. Shift enter the Y value, then again shift enter, right? Now see, this is a plotting of graph that I have told you earlier, that how to plot the graph XY, label the graph, giving the title, using the legend and show function. So I simply press shift enter to show directly that what are the functions been doing what. Right. So this is a legend, this is a title, this is a simple value on y-axis, this is on x-axis, and this is your graph. Right. Now, I want to import the data from a data set. Then I want to analyze each variable, right? This is very important thing that you must know after covering all the graphs, that how to use a graph to retrieve the data from the data set. What you will do, shift enter, pandas is being imported to your file, Python, and then you want to read this diabetes.csv file using a pandas, right? Now, shift enter, it is being read. Now, what is inside the DF? Let's see. This is the whole data is being imported. How it is imported? Because I have already copied the data, that is, or the already downloaded the diabetes data set into this folder, right? That's why it's reading it. Otherwise, it will be showing an error if it is not in your folder, right? So this is a DF containing. This is whole data. Now, see, very important thing. This is the attribute I want to retrieve. This is what? These are the attributes: glucose, blood pressure, and etc., age, and outcome. Now, this data is showing that this is a diabetes 148, right? If it is 148, the person is diabetic. One shows that person is diabetic. And if it is 85, that means person is not diabetic. So outcome will give you the 0. We have to analyze this thing, right? So we have a certain 0 and 1. So 1 is showing that person is diabetic and 0 is showing person is non-diabetic. And this is the age. So what I just want to retrieve, I want to first retrieve the age, right? And accordingly, I will determine whether this particular age person is diabetic or non-diabetic. Clear this thing? So I repeat, this is a age attribute that I want to analyze. I want to see a glucose. Glucose is a diabetic parameters that tells whether the person is diabetic or not. So I have taken one variable X and I want age attribute data from my DF. DF is what? Data frame. So this thing I want, I simply writes DF age and I have given this or assigned to this as an X, right? So the next one is what? Glucose. I want a glucose parameters and I have assigned to the new variable that is Y. Right. Now I want to plot. I want to see what is the graph between X and Y. X is what? The age. And Y is what? The glucose. And S is the size of the marker. Right. So labeling is being done on X-axis. What it is? Age. On Y-axis, we have taken a glucose. I have given the title that I want the extraction of data between what? Glucose and age. And I want to show. Let's execute it. Now see, this is your graph accordingly. So what you can see here, this is a glucose and this is what? Age. On x-axis is age. On y-axis it is glucose, right? And this is a title of a graph that is glucose versus age. And this is a graph being showing to you, right? So it is showing that at age this, what is a glucose level, right? So this is a simple graph to analyze your data set. Isn't it good? To analyze your data, it's giving you only one line code to analyze the data and one function you can analyze the data, visualize the data. So this is very easy. And next one is what? Simple. I want to know, this is very important, just listen it carefully, that I want to know that how many of this data set there are diabetic person and how many of the data persons are non-diabetic, right? I have to analyze the data, right? So what I do, I know that in my data, wherever the outcome is equals to 1, that person will be as diabetic. And wherever the outcome of a person is 0, that shows that a person is non-diabetic, right? As we can see in the data, this is my data, right? So this is my data, this is the outcome parameter. And in this outcome, I have 0, 1. So 1 shows the person is diabetic and 0 shows the person is non-diabetic. I have to extract this data. I have to make one data showing all the diabetic person and another data in Y showing all the non-diabetic person. Now for this, LOC function is used, right? This is similar to ilog that we have covered in the previous lesson. So LOC function is very important. It is used to extract the data among the data. That means this is a data set and from the outcome, I want to extract all the diabetic person in one variable and all the non-diabetic that shows from 0 to another variable. Clear or not? I repeat once again because this is quite important also. From this data set, I want to retrieve the diabetic person in one variable, the non-diabetic person in another variable. For that purpose, I can use LOC, that is an important function of this. So let's see how to retrieve. Now see, this is the graph that we have analyzed. Now, LOC, how to use? Simply, I want to give outcome, I want to check. So what I will do, I will see DF. From DF, I will retrieve the outcome variable, right? I will locate wherever I have the one value, retrieve that value 1 and give it to this variable. Is that clear or not? I repeat once again, I want a data of diabetic person. Diabetic person shows from 1. Outcome is a variable or a class that shows if it is 1, it is diabetic. If it is 0, then it is non-diabetic. I want to extract the data, right? So I just put this condition, that is outcome equals to 1 in df, locate that value and give it to the age d variable. This shows age d is showing, age d is for age at that person is having a diabetes, or n shows that it is a person at that particular age is non-diabetic. Clear? So this is a 0 for non-diabetic. Is that clear? So going to the next one. This one is what simple age to the diabetic person. I have retrieved the value. This is in this variable what I have, all the outcomes having the one value. This I have given to what? Another variable, that is age diabetes. Another variable I have taken, that is glucose diabetic, and a glucose of diabetic I have given to another value. Is that clear? Now with this area, this both, what I have a data of diabetic person having this age and glucose this age, right? Clear? And this is the data having a non-diabetic age and glucose. This is for non-diabetic and this is a diabetic. Is that clear? Now, I want to first plot a graph with two variables. First of all, age, the person having the diabetes, and the person having the diabetes, it's glucose, right? This is scattered. Labeling I have given at x-axis, age should come, at y-axis, glucose should come. Title I have given that it is a graph for diabetic person with, with which respect? Glucose is the one variable and age is the another variable. Yeah. So don't be confused. It is very easy once you understand. So this is a diabetic data set and now show. So first of all, I will execute the above statement. Let's execute the above statements from here. It's been executed. It is also executed. See, once it is executed, it will be allotted by one by any number, right? So this shows that this statement is being executed. Here it is not allotted by any number, so this statement is not executed. This is a sign that if the statement is being executed or not. Now going to the next, shift enter. Now see how beautiful graph it's showing. You can see. Now try to understand the graph. This is a graph. This is a x-axis. This is a y-axis. I have a data set. I have two attributes, or you can choose as per your requirement. You have chosen any two attributes. I have chosen age on my x-axis and glucose on my y-axis. And I have to compare the variables distribution among age and glucose. At what age, what person is having how much glucose level, right? So it will show the person or the diabetic range, right? Means the person which are diabetic affected. Now see the next one. This is a simple non-diabetic graph. Okay, this is a non-diabetic graph, the age and the glucose of non-diabetic person. So it's so easy. Just what you have done, you have categorized the data within the data, right? You have find out that how many person there are which are suffering from diabetes and how many person are there which are non-diabetic, just using a simple graph that is scattered. Now I will run this, shift enter. Now see another beautiful graph. This is showing what? It is showing the non-diabetic person and two variable is being chosen, that is age and glucose, right? So it's giving you all the person in your above data set, the number of person which are non-diabetic, and above graph is being showing you all the person which are diabetic. Is that clear? So it is so easy for you to extract the data from the data set. Once you have covered your numpy, your pandas, in this example, I have shown you how to use a numpy in one graph. And another thing I have shown you how to use the pandas and how to analyze the data in the data set. Is it so easy now? You can try yourself and just run it, execute as much as you will run, you will get to know more and more about all this thing, right? So this is all about today's about the matplot, which is one of the most interesting thing in Python, by with the help of which you can draw such as bar plot, scatter plot, line plot, and many more, and you can also retrieve the data set. Now after 10 minutes break, we'll be back with a new ID that has been sent to you by the Google Classroom, and we'll be back for query session. Just note down all your queries and do ask in the next sessions. Thank you all of you for attending these sessions.